Good day and welcome to another edition of our daily preview from outside of Genie, where we will be previewing today, the 9th of August, Gravel Turf Track. Just before we get to the preview, let's just have a look at a few things. For the persons that are listening to my video for the first time, what outside of Genie do is outside of Genie do a form analysis. We are not tipsters per se. We are form analysis. So what we do is we analyze the form and then we uh, give you selections, outside the selections that we think that might come into either win or place, and which you can then add into whatever play you do. So if you um, are a pick six player, then you can add it into your pick six or a PA quartet or whatever play you do, so that you can stand a chance of getting the bigger dividends. You can also subscribe to our channel. You just unsubscribe and then ring the bell, and then every time we post a video, you'll get notified. Then we also on social media, where you also can find us. We are also looking for advertisers who wants to sponsor this preview every day. So if you're looking to get your message out there, give us a shout out on that number above, and we can then see if we can assist you by getting you some more clients. Now, I just want to quickly, you know, show some of our results. On Friday, we gave you those three winners: Princess Khaleesi 92, Benny Carlo 16 to 1, and race 8, number 2, Wicked Grin. Then, yeah, on Thursday at the Vaal, we gave you a quartet paying 16,000 Rand. What happened was, if you look here at race 5, the result was 3, 2, 12, and 13. Now, our selections for that race was number 12 to win, because that was our outright winner. We always give you three selections. The first selection is our outright winner. The second two selections are our suggested outsiders that we think can place. Now, number 3 won the race, number 2 was second, and number 12 was third. That trifecta paid 724 Rand. Now, if you listen to our video that we have, that we always post, that say, how to use our selections, my suggestion is to always use these three that I give you and put them in a trifecta, because it does happen that all three of them ran first, second, and third, and being two of them being outsiders, then you get a nice dividend. And if you listen to the video that I gave on my preview, I said I do expect number 13, who was 50 to 1 at that time, to improve and run a place, and you need to include that into your quartet. So if you listen to my advice, you would have been standing in the payout queue laughing, collecting over 15,000 Rand. Then on the same card, we were also very strong on Franklin. Now, Franklin was about 5 to 1 at the bookies, but at the total, it paid 9 Rand 70 a win and 3 Rand 50 a place. I was quite astounded to see that. Then number 6, Jive Princess of Jive Express, was one of our outsider selections. That duly arrived second, and that exact paid 47 Rand 10. So what you can do is you can subscribe to outside of Genie, and then you get race by race selection, outright winner, and two possible outsider selection. Value bets normally 6 to 1 or better. Best bet of the day, we don't give odds on. We have given as high as 13 to 2 that has come as the best bet of the day. We also give suggested trifectas and quartets, and as you've seen above, sometimes they pay quite handsomely. We also give you affordable PA and a pick six that you can use as the basis to either play it as is, or maybe add in, or just change it here and there and play according to what you can afford. Our monthly rates are 500 Rand per month, but if you subscribe now till the end of August, for now, you'll only pay 400 Rand. So let's get back to the business on hand. Normally, we are, I don't tip on these newly turned 3-year-olds because there's really no form. So I'm not going to make a selection on race 1 at Gravel, which is a maiden plate for 3-year-olds over 1,000 meters. So let's have it, but I'll give you the betting. Number 2, I'm ready as a first timer, 17 to 2, Marcus on board. I'll be very careful. I don't want to detract from Anton Marcus, but I think there was days that he could ride 4 or 5 winners, but I do feel sometimes that days might be past now, because Anton Marcus has failed on so many favorites over the last time that it's just not. I mean, and I'm not breaking the man down, but it's not like it used to be in the old days, and unfortunately, that is a fact. Then we get Sweet Scented Green 5-1, Irish Bell 8-1, 10-1, Sweet Hall, Celtic Vision 11-1, Spree 11-1, Bell's Fortune 12-1, Miss Paloma 20-1, and Better Field. So here we are with race 2, which is also a maiden plate over 2,000 meters, over 1,000 meters, which I'm also not going to give a selection. Just note that there is a scratching there. That's number 4, Bernie's Dream. So here we have number 6 at 8-10. The first timer from Ashley Fortune stable. You're going to have to watch that. Copper Mountain 2-1. Nichols in 14-1. 16-1. Precious Love from Tini Prinsloo. Coming from Kimberly, ex-Kimberly trainer, and 25-1, and Better the Rest. We then now move on to race number 3, which is also a maiden plate over 1,600 meters. Here we have Magical Flight 16-10, State of Mind 5-2, My Lady 4-1, Destiny's 12-1, Legend 16-1, Young Ideas 20-1, and 53-1, and Long and the rest. So here we are at race number 3, and let's have a look. Now, race number 3, my fancy is my Lady. Unfortunately, we have Anton Marcus on board, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with this ride. But the horse has shown some fair form. He ran against some decent horses. Jasmine finished in the future the other day. Netta ran in the same race and then came out after that and won that race. So I would think number 1 from this draw is a prime candidate to win this race. Number 2, Destiny, is Jackson Philly, can improve, ran behind Caviar Scara. Caviar Scara also ran in the future where she was placed, and some of the horses that finished behind her in this maiden has already won again. So definitely a horse that you can put into your quartet. And I want to scroll down, and number 3, Legend It. Last time there was also behind Netta, drawn 3. That day was drawn 11 out of 12. I think that was definitely a bit of a problem. Now back over the 1,600 meters, also finished close up behind Caviar Scars. Definitely a horse with a shout in this race. There are many horses with chances, but let's look at the next 2. Magical Flight, Willow Magic, Sean Terry, Lyle Hewitson. That was finished second in a small future, and Winter Smoke came from there and won another future on July day. So definitely that is a strong race. So Willow Magic, drawn 8, definitely in with a chance. And number 9, State of Mind, also debut in the future, 6 lanes behind Caroluma. Warren Kennedy from drawn 9. This is going to be a very interesting race. And we move on to race number 4. Race number 4 is another maiden plate over 1,400 meters. Let's look at the betting. Race 4 is number 3, Lions Head, 9-10, Chapter and Verse 9-2, Disillusion 7-1, Royal Exhibit 7-1, 12 Mounted Warrior 16-1, Ibuti 20-1, 1,000 Stars 20-1, and Longer the rest. Okay, here we have number 1. Chapter and Verse has run well. Did finish well over the 1,400 between Color of My Fate and then behind Crimson Kings was there, but didn't finish the race off. Then we have number 3, which is Lion's Head from Dean Conway stable. This is a half brother to Gabor, very well bred, and did go close last time on the poly, but I think the turf won't be a problem, and also the longer distance won't hurt. Yeah, I think this horse is the right horse to win this race. Then we have some, let's have a look at some other horses. There's Illusion that finished second last time out, got caught late at the post. Lyle Hewitson riding from draw 4, definitely also in with a chance. Then Ibutu was back from on his debut from 20 to 1 to 5 to 1, so they might have shown something at home. Richard Fourie on board, definitely in with a chance. Then we move on to race number 5. Race number 5 is a 1400 meters, merit rated 88 handicap, class B division, average merit rating 83. Let's look at the betting. Here we have number 1, Dutch Alley 92, New Stream 92, Arizona Silk 92, Venison 7 to 1, Farland 16 to 2, Into the Future 12 to 1, 14 to 1, and longer the rest. Number 1, Dutch Alley is running well, always there and thereabouts. Has been running against some little bit less, lower divisions, but now moving up in division. Drawn 1, Dutch Alley can definitely be involved in the finish. Keegan de Milo, so it might be a nice double that you can take with Lion's Head, and Dutch Alley might be a good double. Karoo Lark has been, um, uh, has run an improved race last time on gravel, lag, no threat, but I'm sure this horse will improve, and it's currently at 20 to 1, maybe a nice outside of your quartets. New Stream is also there and thereabouts, always finishing well, and definitely a candidate to also be involved in the finish. But here we are with numbers 4, Arizona Silk. Now, the Arizona Silk ran last time in an average rating of 92, now in a 83. She won that by 6 lengths. Yeah, although she was carrying 51, but now she's running against lesser opposition, and still with the 61.5. I do feel that based on her last run and some of her previous runs, this horse will be hard to beat in this field today. Then we go down to, I want to go down to number 6, Venison. Venison also is running well with Warren Kennedy. Now, on this run behind Dutch Alley, this horse should finish in front of Dutch Alley because they were carrying level weights, but now Venison is carrying 2 kilogram less and only got beaten by a short nose. So if you work on that, then number 6, Venison, should be in front of number 1, Dutch Alley. So definitely Venison not to exclude from your calculations. Then I want to move down to horse number 11, Into the Future. Although drawn a little bit wide, this horse has run against some stronger opposition here and there behind Fool's Gold, Final Attempt. So definitely, I do feel that number 11, Into the Future, can be involved in the finish. So also not a horse that you can discard from this race. We then move on to race number 6. From here on, the races are very open. Although some of the horses are short in the betting, I believe that they might be false favorites. So here we have race number 6, which is a 1700 meters. Fillies and Bears handicap 94, B87. Fillies and Bears handicaps are always difficult because sometimes Fillies and Bears don't always run according to plan. Here we have number 10, Perfect Air 4 to 1. Star Vega 92 in a minute 15 to 1. Diamonds and Pearls 6 to 1. You'll see that all 3 of the top ones are drawn white, and at gravel, that's definitely a disadvantage. 6 to 1 under double, really 8 to 1. Another Cannemeyer in made the Melo. Corredi Ferrari 16 to 1, 20 to 1. Escape Club Connect Me and 25 to 1, and longer the rest. This is a difficult field. I think when you do your pick sixes, you're gonna go wild. They're betting 4 to 1 the field. Diamonds and Pearls has been run has had all her wins on the poly, now on the turf. But I'm sure she can bring that form. A dangerous horse, always runs well. Very seldom not in the placings. definitely a horse that you cannot discard. Last time out beat really, and really was carrying 63, and Diamonds and Pearls was carrying 60. Now, if you have a look at the weight difference at this time, let's just have a look here. Really is carrying, really is carrying now, is carrying 58 and a half, and Diamonds and Pearls carrying 55 and a half. So there's already a turnaround in weights, and it was for 3 kilograms. Yeah, that was here it was also 3 kilograms. So they probably they're on the same weight, but I do feel that really also in this race has got a chance. Number two is Escape Club. Escape Club always runs well, always there and thereabouts. Last time out ran in the future behind my Yabi Gold, and my Yabi Gold was a runner in the July. But the favorite, the stablemate, was in front of her. That's currently fourth one. Perfect Air was in front of her, so I think she's going to find it difficult to turn around the form based on that run, but can definitely be included in your quartet selections. Yeah, and then here we have number 4, Ferrari, coming from Gauteng, having a second run in Greyville. Last time out ran in a future on July Day, not on July Day, behind Savannah Sprout in a future, over 1400 meters. And I do feel that this horse has run against some very good opposition. And I mean, there we are, 4 lengths behind Summer Pudding and Vistula. So my selection for this race, number 4, Ferrari, currently at 16-1. Definitely not a horse that you can leave out of your calculations. Then I want to go down to some other horses here that I want to discuss with you. Connect Me. Connect Me is a very good horse, always runs there and thereabouts, always involved in the finish. Um, hasn't had a lot of runs on gravel, but I'm sure that shouldn't be a problem. And we can see this, she has run against some of these horses, hasn't won for 368 days. Now, I just want to just share with you, you'll sometimes find that if a horse like this horse won on the 7th of August, it's now a year ago. I have found it often that horses that won a year and they never win, and then won on on the same or maybe within a day of two from their previous win after a year. So number 7, Connect Me, not to be discarded today. Currently 20-1 in the betting. I cannot believe this horse is 20-1 in the betting, because if you have a look, you'll see that it also has run against some decent opposition. So definitely a horse that you need to put in all your play. Here we have number 8, um, really ran before the break, ran against fair races. Then after the break, came back and ran 2.75 behind Perfect Air. And I'm sure really it's a flower alley. They're running well. Will definitely improve to be involved in the finish in this race. Yes, number 9, Star Vega, second favorite, has also been running well. Ontario by Duwali Me, Richard Fourie, the jockey, also a dangerous jockey. And this horse runs, always runs from behind, fastest 400 or second fastest 400 meters. So definitely a horse that you cannot leave out of your calculations. You have to include this horse, especially with Richard Fourie on board. He is a master in bringing a horse from behind. Then we have the favorite Perfect Air, has run some really good races. I do not say the horse cannot win this race, but he's jumping from draw 10, and that can be a factor. But ran second behind Mayabi Gold. There she was 4 lengths behind Mayabi Gold. So very strong form. So it is a worthy favorite, but at 4-1, definitely not a certainty. So now let's move on to race number 7, another open race to my mind. Here we have a minute rated 68, Class D, average merit rating 64. Let's look at the betting. The betting is as follows. Divine U 7-10. Now I can tell you guys up front, I won't be rushing to take 7-10 on Divine U. Thank you, but no thank you. Proud Warrior 7-1. Storm Ruler 8-1. Deposition 14-1, Everdeen 16-1, Ishiketa 20-1, El Balero 20-1, Romanska 20-1, 25-1, and longer the rest. So let's have a look here, 2,000 meters. Here we have number one, Ishiketu. Ishiketu has surprised at times, but still have to win on the turf. Maybe not today. Divine Huge, just a 7-10 favorite again. Anton Marcus on board. Maybe I'll have cake on my face, but definitely not a 7-10 shot. This horse has run well, but I mean it's not like it's just been beating the world. I mean these horses all got 4 legs, and they can all run in the race of the card. 7-10 on this horse, although this horse finished on its maiden behind Shango. But I mean, and it beat Jetlit Knight. Jetlit Light is still battling to win a maiden. Baby Shoes, not the world beat. The Wild Safari has run some decent races. He's a hard knocker. Mythos, I think, only won his second race the other day. But yeah, the horse finished come from behind. But definitely, I don't say the horses would not have had a chance, but not a 7-10 shot in my mind. I might be having cake on my face afterwards, but yeah, that is the way it goes. Then let's have a look at some other horses. I think this horse, Mighty Smart, um, it's a Paul Lafferty horse. Sean Wheel drawn 4, definitely in with a chance. Has some run, has a run up and down. Then uh, but the horse they did run behind Smart Socks. It says no finish, but I think the longer distance will suit. And Paul Lafferty stable currently is on song. Did have the 40-1 shot last week, so definitely a horse and a stable that you cannot discard. Sean Wheel always tries his best. Here we have Proud Warrior from the Alison Wright stable. Proud Warrior did win his last race over the 1700 on Poly, but has won a race on turf. Only 10 runs, 2 wins. So definitely, I think a horse still under up can improve. Um, I do think that number 5, Proud Warrior, has got the ability to win this race, and this is my choice to win this race. Here behind Smart Stocks over the 1600 meters was staying on and did improve last time to win. Ran on well, second fastest to 400 finish, and I think the horse to beat in this field. And there's some other horses I just want to discuss. Brigade, I've been following this for a while, but it keeps on disappointing, so not for me today. St. Philip only won a maiden, his maiden, and then didn't show anything after the maiden. Now, there's a horse that I want to discuss, and maybe you guys are going to kill yourself laughing, crawling on the floor, laughing. But this horse is currently in the betting at 80-1. I don't say this horse can win this race, but if you are a quartet player and trifectas, this horse is carrying 53. Now, this horse has only had 4 wins, but if you have a look in Kimberley, been running well, 12,200 meters, didn't go up form a bit. Last time out came behind Samuel, and he just lost, but he still ran a decent race, I think, behind me on the poly. Today, it's the first time this horse is ever going to go on the turf. And I just got a sneaking feeling that maybe this horse will not run too badly on the turf today. And it's always dangerous if you have a horse who's never been on the turf because you do not know what it can do. So if my advice to you guys, put this horse in your quartets and trifectas. If this horse run a place, I can assure you, you're going to be standing in a payout queue collecting, laughing your head off. As I said, I don't say number 8 Time Master is going to win because at Arts and a Genie, it's not always about tipping the winning horse, but it's about tipping horses that you can put into your play, trifectas, quartets, or whatever, swingers, exactas. And if they do come in for a place, you'll be collecting and smiling. And if they doesn't come today, just follow him. I really feel sorry for these Kimberley guys. They came from Kimberley, with horses that has already been proved to battle in the Gauteng of Natal or even PE, and now they're bringing those same horses back to where they come from originally, where they were battling, and they must now try and win races with them. So I'll be really screaming for Time Master to do well, just for Mr. Prinsloo. He's a very nice chap, Tini Prinsloo, just to win this race for him, or not to win, but even just run a place. Number 9, Everdeen. Everdeen is also, I think, is in with a chance. It's currently in the betting at 16 to 1. Has run decent races. Comes from Cape Town. Has run some decent races here in Natal, and I do believe that Everdeen will also be one of the horses fighting out the finish. And then here we have, I just want to mention this, you know, I think a really good chap, Mr. Ruck. I think he's one of the nicest oaks. He's always friendly. I follow him on social media. Number 10, Assisted Takeoff, unfortunately has lost the plot, battling here in Natal. And I really I would have wished that, you know, that their luck can change because they're trying hard. Yes, Tom Ruder, Cliffy Miller, also ex Kimberly trainer. He's had one runner already, and I really feel that Storm Ruder with Lyle Hewitson, although drawn 11, can have a shout in this race. And then yes, Downflower, also Mr. Ruck's horse, um, and yeah, this horse is also battling at this stage. Has won a few races in Kimberley, but hasn't won in the turf yet. Same story. I really, Jared, I really wish that his luck would change and that he's going to pick up a winner. And I'm sure it's going to happen soon. And when it happens, it's going to be like the case that happened in PE on Friday, where Montana Turner had a winner for Mr. De Toy, who was also a big owner in Kimberley, and they won over horse Dolphin at 66 to 1. And although that threw me out of the pick six, I wished him good luck because they really deserve, you know, after their center, which they loved and Joy has closed down. And it's such a pity that that center was closed down. Their position, you know, as also a horse that runs there and thereabouts, sometimes better to put two good races in a row together, and maybe today it might be a race where you can, you know, run a forward race. Then number 14 Romanska, coming off a rest, um, and then 2 runs back, one from draw 13, the other from draw 14. Jacobson on board. Watch out for this horse. Put in your quartets. We now moving on to race number 9, race number 8, sorry, which is a maiden plate over 1900 meters. And here we have the same scenario again. And I might have egg on my face after the race meeting, but I'm confident I won't. We have Kenneth MacArthur, Anton Marcus, 14 to 10, 5 to 1 the field. Sonia Dor, 5 to 1, 6 to 1 all time high. Cyclone Breeze, 7 to 1. Angela's Flame, 14 to 1. 12 to 1, 12 to 1, Flying Pekin, Great Langari, 20 to 1, and longer the rest. So let's have a look at this race. Here's number 1, Great Langari. Please put into your quartets. Paul Lafferty stable is in form. This horse has run some good places and definitely not without a chance. Yes, Kenneth MacArthur did improve in his, you know, in his first race after the lockdown to run second. Dylan on board 2 to 1. Yeah, definitely a horse with a chance. I do see here it says Anton Marcus, but in the race card was Dylan. But so Mr. Dylan must have been injured, so he's replacing him on this horse. But again, yeah, I can't see this horse being so short because he only had one run after the break. He did run well over a bit of a yielding going, but certainly the horse must, you know, show some more improvement. But not that I say the horse cannot win, but 70 to 10 the field on this ring, on this horse, I'm not so sure if that betting is correct. Here we have Sonia Dor as an ideal word. Fought with me. This breeding has proved itself. 1900 meters, Lyle Hewitson, drawn 4. I'm sure he's going to give this number 2 a very hard race. This horse has run a few nice places and can definitely be involved in the finish. Angela's Flame. Angela's Flame has had only one run so far. over 1600 meters, was running on really not too bad, 24.4, fastest 400, slow, sharp shift. Everything went wrong with his horse. Now putting it, and it's just Irish Flame out of a show, a hard me, it's an Australian me, but just Irish Flame, just showing me this horse will need further and can improve from here. Wild Earth, also a 4-year oratoria by a second Empire Me. GENIE -2. I'm sure the longer distance will shoot. Hasn't run too bad. 4 fastest 400. 10th at a 400 meter been running on. So definitely Wild Earth, a horse that you need to include into your play. Cyclone Breeze also running there and thereabouts. Visenagetrix by Western Wintermere, nicely bred, and it had 3 runs on the turf in the Cape, now back on the turf here, and might prove to be, also it might, improve to be involved in the finish. Now, here's my burn, Muzieni. This horse hasn't got very good form, but maybe Muzieni can make a little bit of a difference. Chuck it in the back end of your quartets. But yeah, this horse, number 8, 125 to 1. Number 9, all-time high. All-time high has also been finishing well behind Terrell's Bullet, and then again on behind Unification on a 27th Polly. Been knocking on the door to win a race. Warren Kennedy on board, that makes it, this horse definitely a horse to follow, not to exclude in any of your play. Here we have number 10, Flying Pecan. Now, this Flying the Flag has had his first winner the other day. It's by King of King Me. To me, this horse, if you ever look at 23.9 slow progress, this is the improver of the race. Unfortunately, draw 10, but this jockey is riding well, and to my mind, this can be a bigger, is going to be the biggest danger to number 10, number 2, Kenneth MacArthur, and this all number 10, currently 12 to 1 in the betting. Definitely not a horse that you can leave out. So that is then what this is then our preview for today at Greyville. I do hope you make a lot of money, and as I always say, break a leg.